I'd probably say that there are certain aspects of the sector that are definitely in a dot-com bubble and bust. I don't think Bitcoin is. I still feel that it's one of the most undervalued asset classes, even at these prices. It's
undervalued asset class. How do you even value Bitcoin?
Well, you could just, some people are valuing it, and some of the reports that have come out from many of the banks and institutional players now are looking at it taking a small percentage of each asset class. So if it takes just 1% of those that are investing in gold as a hedge against financial uncertainty, then that would create a $25,000 Bitcoin. Many people are looking at these different asset classes and saying, well, we believe a certain percentage of it is going to make its way over to the market.
Which makes sense, but how you invest is an issue, and ICO is something that's now on the rise, and some of the viewers might be scratching their heads saying, well, what's an ICO? A little bit like an IPO in a way, but for cryptocurrencies, initial coin offering. How do you know what to invest in? Because a bit like IPOs, it can be an absolute minefield for investors.
Yeah, and it's ultra high speculative, ultra high risk, and ultra high returns if you get it right. So since we started investing in 2011, we've kind of seen 5 waves, ICOs being one of the latest ones. The first was Bitcoin, which started getting its value as a store because of its sound monetary policy, a store of value independent of any government and central bank. Then you had altcoins, where people were trying to copy Bitcoin, create their own versions, but they started to then, some of them stuck and they started to get ultra high returns. Then you had equity in companies. We started to now see some of the billion-dollar unicorns come out with companies like Coinbase and Kraken. Now we're seeing tokens, which is companies creating, an asset class, a token that trades upon a secondary market. And because so many people have made wealth in this sector, they're willing to chuck that around and speculate a bit. And the latest one we're seeing is splits, actually, which is where people have different disagreements. Now Bitcoin has reached its scale. They disagree on how the technology should move forward. So they're splitting into their own community, but it's quite interesting because it's kind of acted like a dividend to everyone that holds Bitcoin. Right. So the latest one at today's market price gave every Bitcoin holder $650 per every Bitcoin they held.
And I think you've mentioned speculation a few times there, and that therein lies the problem. This is a largely unregulated market. In fact, please do correct me if I'm wrong, but my reading suggests that ICOs are completely unregulated. Is that right?
Well, there's kind of 2 schools of thought. So some people, the SEC just recently made an announcement about it, there are some which are acting very much like financial products, which are securities and should fit within the securities law, but people are ignoring those laws, and so there's going to be a lot of crackdown and trouble for those ignoring those laws. A lot of the exchanges are now starting. So in Japan, they started regulating their exchanges. Same's happening in China, and many people are fitting within the existing realm, but because cryptocurrencies have this anonymous element to them, some people are using that as an opportunity to circumvent regulations. Right. That's causing a lot of problems.
Just
and there's a lot of...
Very quickly, can you clear up where the demand is coming from? Because we've been speculating about a little bit around this set, but where would you see most of the demand?
So the demand for ICOs, I would say, have come from Bitcoiners and people that have made these ultra high returns that are willing to reinvest in order to take the sector. It's currently worth, if you combine the equity and the coin market caps, it's about 200 billion right now. And many people believe that's going to go through to $1 trillion, $2 trillion, and beyond. And so they're willing to invest in trying to get those more speculative with a percentage of their Bitcoin.